Game here from Contrarian Codex versus MTK's Palo Alber. And that is a lot of horrors. 5 blue horrors, 5 pink horrors, including the Sour Guts. We're about to get a Rainbow Light show. Skaven build solid, like it a lot. Skrulk's good into most demonic factions. Tzeentch is a little spooky because blue fire spam, but any lord is going to get sniped by blue fire spam, so Skrulk's okay. He's a cheap option for a caster, and he's a foot character, so blue fire can sometimes miss. It's fine, especially if you have enough range to keep the enemy at bay. I mean, this says a lot. Warp Lightning Cannon, ROR Jezzails, and then 6 360 skirmish shooters, 2 of which are gutter runners, 4 are night runners. Frontline of Skaven Slaves, double Wolf Rats, 4 Rat Ogres for some mass, and then as we said, Skrulk with Plague. I like Plague a lot, and then Vermintide. Plague is nice. For 12 Winds of Magic, you never want to overcast it, but just 12 Winds of Magic, you throw it down like a Pit of Shades or something. And it doesn't have Suction, which is the only reason it's not like an OP great spell, but it is nice if you're expecting a lot of Chaos Warriors or Chosen and you didn't bring any Poison Wind Globes, which we can see here they didn't. I'd recommend that. If you do have Globes, then it's a little redundant, but if you don't have Globes, it's nice. Just to cover that spot for Armored Infantry. The other side for Tzeentch, we have a Soul Grinder of Tzeentch, a blue and pink fire caster, nothing shocking there. Then the Shrieking Sky Rays, and as we mentioned in the loading screen, a whole ton of horrors, and then 1 Centaur of Tzeentch, so pretty wide demon army that's going to be on the advance. The Warp Lightning Cannon from the Skaven should do good work, just keeping the Exalted Lord of Change or the Soul Grinder on edge. The Soul Grinder is not nearly as overpowered as it used to be. It's still strong, but I don't know, Warp Lightning Cannon can do really well into it, especially if you do a little bit of screening. I mean, if it's just you versus the AI and you have Warp Lightning Cannon versus a Soul Grinder and that's it, that's all that's going on. Soul Grinder might win just because it'll take out individual models pretty fast. But with like a real army in a real battlefield situation, it's usually quite fine. Lightning Cannon hits some of the Shrieking Sky Rays, can get through that barrier. Force them back as an overcasted pink fire takes out almost an entire Night Runner. And just rally. 0 leadership for quite a while. Chilling, vibing, surviving. The Warp Lightning Cannon pokes away Exalted Lord of Change. He's doing good dodging so far for Palo. And now some of the Skaven guns, like especially the Jezzails, are going to want to turn and start firing at the horrors coming in. Skaven Slaves, Rat Ogres all want to charge up, get into melee with these guys so they don't just get shot. And there's not a lot of mobility for Tzeentch that you have to peel. There's 1 Centaur, and there's 1 Shrieking Sky Ray. Night Runner's gonna have a bit of a tough time here and there just because their physical resistance is useless versus Tzeentch. Tzeentch has magic damage on every single unit. But you do like the 360 shooting for those guys versus demonic factions, so it's hard to give it up. In come the horrors, getting in range of the Skaven Slaves. Looks like the blues are gonna use their ammunition on them. Just get rid of your frontline blockers so they can walk right in wherever they please. The Warp Lightning Cannon continues to harass the Exalted Lord of Change. And that Soul Grinder has been kept at bay. It hasn't used any ammunition yet. His Gunner Runners and Night Runners poke at the Lord of Change as well, get some of those barriers away. Blue Horror is still moving up, and the Skaven haven't engaged in melee yet, so they are going to have to take all of this ammunition without much counterpoint. Wolf Rats will have a tough time versus Blue Horrors. Blue Horrors are a hybrid unit. Wolf Rats really like picking on guys weaker than them, and if Blue Horrors put up an actual fight, the dogs will rout pretty quickly. Leadership's just too low to fight demons like that. As Pink Horrors move in. Now, Skrulk's gonna have to do a lot of work. He does have Summons, which can cause some issues for this backline, and then he has the Rod of Corruption as well. Both pretty good as a Bolt of Change comes down from the Tzeentch Lord. Damages Skrulk a little bit, and moves on. Jezzails are going to start shooting at the Exalted Lord of Change. So is Ikazabzab? Not sure where Ikazabzab is going to shoot. He's kind of a little distracted, but the Soul Grinder has gotten in range. He's shooting at Rat Ogres, so he's not shooting at Ikazabzab. So Ikad is safe yet again as Rat Ogres get chased down by the Centaurs of Tzeentch. Other Rat Ogres already killed themselves a Blue Horror, but Skrulk has to hurry up and get out there to those other horrors to get work done. Soul Grinder already lost all of its barriers to the first volley from the Warp Lightning Cannon. And it continues to shoot at more Rat Ogres. Looks like Palo Alber is assessing that if he kills the Rat Ogres, the horrors can just kite the Skaven into oblivion. But there comes the first Plague onto a Pink Horror. Pink Horror doesn't notice that that's happening to it, so it is getting ground down by that Plague. It went through all the barriers. It's already taken off half their HP. And for 12 wins of magic, it almost killed an entire pink horror that might demonic instability crumble soon. Skrulk, Libra Bubonicus is another pink horror while chasing it down with Clan Rats. Meanwhile, in the backfield, Exalted Lord of Change is trying to peel for the Sour Guts and other pink horrors that are firing in onto Rat Ogres, but since he landed, it makes him a much easier target for the Warp Lightning Cannon to poke away at him. Meanwhile, other blue horrors got onto Natty Bubos and the Warp Lightning Cannon, really disrupting those guys, causing a lot of problems, but the cannon's still going to fire at the Exalted Lord of Change for as long as he can. Skrulk is here. Stand your ground and Rod of Corruption out to deal with these pink horrors. The Clan Rat summon turns around and it's going to kill that one that was almost finished by the Plague. This should do it in for good while Gutter Runners deal with the Centicoes Zinch in the background while blue horrors also help out. That is a Fury summon. I'm getting a little worried for the Skaven. If they lose Natty Bubos and they lose the Warp Lightning Cannon, that's like 2,500 gold value off the battlefield all of a sudden. That could really turn this game on its head. Soul Grinder being chased down by Rat Ogres. He's stuck all alone in that fight. The Shrieking Skyrays, I haven't seen them for a while, so I'm guessing Night Runners got them. Nope, they're back here. So without the Shrieking Skyrays nearby to rear charge those guys with their anti-large and armor piercing and whatnot, the Soul Grinder should eventually lose to the Rat Ogres. He's just not that good of a melee combatant. He's okay, but not great at fighting 13 Rat Ogres at once. Exalted Lord Change gets to safety, chases off some Rat Ogres. Now that he's not getting hunted down by the Warp Lightning Cannon every 3 seconds. The Pink Horrors of Tzeentch getting another Plague cast on top of them. Slow, meaningful damage. They will dodge out of that one. It was a little far back, so it wasn't hitting as many models as it could, so it did pretty underwhelming damage, unfortunately. And no Vortex on that thing means they don't get sucked into the middle. The Skrulk keeps pushing out and around with the Clan Rats to help him clear out more blue horrors. If he could just get rid of that Exalted Lord of Change somehow, I wonder if he has another Libra Bubonicus in the back pocket. He does. Maybe that could get him low enough to crumble. But if he goes, then the rest of this build goes. The leadership's already not looking great and they're all demonic. Where's this guy's crew? Because they're back. Here they come. Warp Lightning Cannon crew trying to get back online. Hustling in. If they can get one good volley on the Exalted Lord of Change, maybe two now that he has full barriers again. But the barriers scale off your current HP, so it's a little fraudulent. It's only 200 HP worth of barriers. Skrulk's back in the middle of all these horrors. Charges straight at the pinks, throws down a Clan Rat on top of him. Whee! Clan Rats! Wants to kill the guys with the ammunition left. Warp Lightning Cannon is back, baby! Rat Ogre is continuing to fight that Soul Grinder. It looks like they're going to rout, though. They've paid for themselves already. They've done their jobs. The Warp Lightning Cannon and some little Night Runners and Gutter Runners go a-hunting, but so far everyone's missed the Exalted Lord of Change. He still has pretty much full barriers. And Skrulk does get out another Rod of Corruption. That's good damage in the background as Exalted Lord of Change is starting to dodge again. He realizes he's the target. And the Night Runners and Gutter Runners force the Shrieking Skyrays to stay away. These guys do take a lateral movement across these guys. They're going to get poked the entire way. Meanwhile, the Pink Horror is faded under the pressure of the Rod of Corruption and the Clan Rats. Looks like a lot of demonic units are about to die. And another Plague from Skrulk onto the Sour Guts, but it looks like Palo Alber is on to what's going down here. He's tired of these Plagues. He dodges the second half of the second one, then he dodges the entire third cast. But it does force the Sour Guts back, so Skrulk and his Clan Rats can easily kill off the rest of what they were dealing with. Exalted Lord of Change does fly directly in front of the Warp Lightning Cannon and over the Night Runners, taking a nasty crossfire. Gets hit with the Warp Lightning Cannon just as the Night Runner volley hits him from below. He's pretty close to demonic instability crumbling. The Warp Lightning Cannon, however, is down to 2 models. As it gets another shot on the Exalted Lord of Change, he's going to fade away. The Rat Ogres did not kill the Soul Grinder. He's down to half HP, but he's still around. And wow, that Tzeentch caster is still alive. 300 HP, no demonic instability crumbling yet. He's down to 1 leadership, though. As the Night Runners keep trying to get shots on him, Night Runners instead turn onto the Soul Grinder. As a pink fire comes down the side, was not overcast, or at least didn't damage the Tzeentch caster, who's still trying to get to safety. And Tzeentch is clutching on with the barest of HP just to be a nuisance. The Soul Grinder comes flying in. Terror routes off. It gets Zap crew again. They are routed for the second time, and another Bolt of Change hits Skrulk. The Skaven fall behind on the balance of power. Still have the Sour Guts with ammunition, still have some Centicoes Tzeentch with a decent amount of HP. The Shrieking Skyrays are barely alive. As Skrulk turns and hits them even once, they don't have a lot of HP, and also his contaminated leadership debuff when he hits something could actually just get them to demonic instability crumble. They have not been hit by his Contaminated yet, or we would see that on their little unit card. There we go. Contaminated, and they immediately Demonic Instability crumble. Sour Guts are back in shooting. None of these Skaven units are summons right now, but I'm getting really concerned that we have so many mobility elements that can just chase down the Skaven right now. Sour Guts get a good shot on Lord Skrulk, and the Soul Grinder is going after something. It's hard to tell what. As Ikit Zap Zap crew run away from the Soul Grinder, looks like they're trying to sneak their way back onto their mounts somewhere. As another Rod of Corruption out from Skrulk. That has to be your last one. We've seen so many of these things. Yes, that is his last Rod of Corruption, but it takes out a Centaur of Tzeentch. It's going to damage Sour Guts quite a lot, and then he throws a Clan Rat summon after it. How much Winds of Magic do you even have left? You have one summon left, and you've used 3 Plagues in my eyesight, so you can't have too much more Winds of Magic, as the Sour Guts are just having to run for it. Exalted Lord changes pretty low. 25 barriers. He's at max barriers, but it's 25 HP worth of barriers, so calm down. Not a big deal. And how are these guys doing? Their crew is sneaking back onto the mounts yet again as the Soul Grinder goes over to deal with Skrulk. If Skrulk dies, the Skaven are doomed. Their leadership's too low to live without him. And the Exalted Lord of Change charges in. He took some damage from something. I'm not entirely sure what got a shot or two in on him. And then the Clan Rat summon itself is enough to take him out. Skrulk throws down another Clan Rat summon, but the Warp Lightning Cannon is back online. Sour Guts and Soul Grinder try and snipe out Skrulk. So Warp Lightning Cannon gets attack orders onto the Soul Grinder, tries to get something going here. Soul Grinder takes a little bit of friendly fire from the Sour Guts. It terror routes away Skrulk. One of the Clan Rat summons fades. The Skaven have very little left. Soul Grinder keeps trying to hunt down Skrulk. It can't manage to get a good hit in. It misses a lot of times. Then the Warp Lightning Cannon has been aiming for a while, but there it finally shoots. Direct hit onto the Soul Grinder. A second direct hit onto it as well. And these Gutter Runners still have a bit of ammo they could use. It looks like they're all going to charge the Pink Horrors, though. Again, that physical resistance won't help them at all, so they're about to take a lot of damage from the Sour Gut shooting at them. Skrulk does finally get hit by the Soul Grinder, but the Warp Lightning Cannon is firing over his head. He finally routes, but he isn't dead just yet. And the Soul Grinder needs to survive. If it dies, this game is probably over. Maybe if it kills Skrulk and died, maybe the Sour Guts can clean it up. He said, not sounding too convinced, but he is getting these other guys to rout. The Warp Lightning Cannon still shooting at him. It looks like he doesn't really know what to do about that. He might have to just throw range mode on and fire quickly at the Ikit Zap Zap and try and take out some of their models, because we've seen multiple blue fires cast them, so you know that those Warp Lightning Cannon models themselves aren't full HP. Skrulk is allowed to rally those. The Soul Grinder's trying to dodge, but it's way too slow at dodging to dodge those Warp Lightning Cannon shots. It really has to return fire or just finish off Skrulk, one or the other, but dodging is currently the worst of both worlds, apparently, because it can't dodge him. Skrulk gets shot by the Sour Guts, isn't dead yet. The Warp Lightning Cannon gets another shot. The Soul Grinder's just got to stop and counterfire or do something. He gets shot again, falls below Demonic Instability. It is going to crumble away to nothingness, leaving just the Sour Guts to try and clean up this game. They are busy trying to kill Skrulk. Now, if the Sour Guts can somehow kill Skrulk, I doubt it, but if they can, the Warp Lightning Cannon isn't great versus them, and then without Skrulk, that Skaven Slave's gone. These Night Runners and Rat Ogres are gone. Sour Guts would just have to clean up that Night Runner, and I guess maybe it could Zap Zap. They push away the Rat Ogres with a good volley. Night Runners closing in on them. Soft Ninja Rats getting hit with blinding neon lights. This might be it for the Sour Guts, just because the bounce power is going to take them out, it appears. So they should be able to rout these Night Runners. They should be able to rout the Rat Ogres, but Army Losses is a hell of a drug, and it is right around the corner. Anybody see that split shot from Ikit Zap Zap? That was a little wild, but there they go. G. It was a bit of a nail biter. That Tzeentch caster just didn't know when to give up. Blue Horrors did great. Tzeentch Lord did fine. Pink Horrors not as good. Centaurs did very well. Soul Grinder did fine. Just some late game decision making problems. That Soul Grinder not firing back at the Ikit Zap Zap, instead just dying, unfortunately. Skrulk did very well. Night Runners did well. Gutter Runners did fine. Wolf Rats did okay. Rat Ogres didn't get a lot of value, but they were doing what they needed to do. Natty Boob with Sharpshooters got wrecked. I'm guessing the Shrieking Skyrays were in the back line killing them, because remember we saw them when I was asking where they were to peel for the Soul Grinder. They were in the backfield after taking a lot of damage. Probably busy killing the Giselles, but the Warp Lightning crew sneaking back onto their mount not once but twice was a game winner, so good job, Warp Lightning Cannon. You did great. Roar.
Subscribe, yes.